What's up? Thank you for stopping by to visit the channel for this upcoming game preview of Tennessee and Kentucky. Big time SEC matchup. If you want to hear a different take of college football from an analytical perspective, if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and select all so you don't miss another video. Also, like the video and share the video. It helps this channel grow. And give me your score prediction in the comment section below, even if you agree or disagree. So without further ado, we start off with every video with the tail of the tape of advanced metrics because this is an analytics driven channel. So let's get started. So as we look at the tail of the tape of advanced metrics, we see that Tennessee is a top 5 team in overall quality. Kentucky ranked in the top 20 in most of the major categories, pretty solid. Kentucky's also ranked 6th in defense, but it's a push as well since Tennessee has the #1 offense. They overtook Ohio State in that ranking, and it looks like from Kentucky's offense versus Tennessee's defense, there is a push as well. But overall, when you look at the tail of the tape, Tennessee holds an advantage in 2 out of the 5 categories. I'm not much of a fan of doing advanced box scores when it's FBS versus FCS because it doesn't really tell us a whole lot other than the FBS school, especially if they are a top three team versus a overmatched FBS team. It was going to get incredibly lopsided. And as we can see here, the percentage of the plays in garbage time, 53% of this game was currently in garbage time. I know when I turned on the game, it was 45-7, and it was not even at halftime. I mean, it was something ridiculous like that. But not a lot that we can glean from this game. Tennessee utterly destroyed UT Martin. This was a no contest, a 100% post-game win expectancy from Tennessee here as expected. So they definitely took care of business against an overmatched opponent. And that's pretty much all I can say about that. It was definitely a dominating show. When I watched this game, I noticed a few things. One, the Kentucky running game is back, and it was back in a big way. 50% rushing success rate. The Kentucky defense holding Mississippi State to a 14% rush success rate. I mean, even though Mississippi State is an air raid team that likes to run on opportunity, but the Kentucky defense didn't really give an inch, stopping Mississippi State 57% of the time at or behind the line of scrimmage, just being very disruptive up front. But I just can't speak enough on Kentucky's offensive line just physically dominating Mississippi State up front, especially in that fourth quarter where you can just see the body blows that Chris Rodriguez Jr. and Cavassier Smoke, they were just giving out to them from quarters 1 through 3. And at the end of the day, the dam just broke for Mississippi State in that fourth quarter. They just could not hold up. So this is the type of game that you expected to see from Kentucky this year. And this is basically what they've been known for quite some time now. They're just going to test your manhood up front. They don't really care if you can't stop the run. They're just going to stay committed to who they are. So you got to give them credit, man, for sticking to their guns. So when Tennessee has the ball, not much of a surprise that there's a lot of pushes on this end, but when you kind of break this down, Tennessee does have a slight advantage, 3-1 when we're looking at some of these ratings here. Rush defense for Kentucky, 4th in the country when you adjust for quality of opponent. Very good run defense for Kentucky, very disruptive up front. 2nd in the country in stopping runs at or behind the line of scrimmage. And the defensive line is 5th in the country in defensive line yards. So that's really going to test the quality. It's going to be a different challenge, though, when you're facing the Tennessee offense, just because the way they run their offense. They run a lot of wide splits with the running backs, and they want to make sure that they're counting the box just to see if you are light. So if you're light in the box, Tennessee is going to run it. And that's the thing about Tennessee. That offense, they force you to commit, and they force you to declare what it is that you're going to do. Tennessee, despite the fact that you see them throw the football all over the place, you're only seeing the highlights, so to speak. If you're watching the games, you realize that Tennessee, they run the football more than they pass. They are 61-39 run pass ratio. So they're not shy about it. If you're going to give them free yards, they are going to take it based on the Art Brow's system that they run offensively. So as we take a deeper dive into when Kentucky has the ball, based on the overall offensive SP plus rating against Tennessee's defensive SP plus rating, we looked at the tail of the tape. It did have this as a push, but when you kind of dig down a little bit deeper into it, Tennessee does have a sizable advantage here when we're talking about overall success, not overall success rate, I'm sorry, but defensive EPA, big advantage for Tennessee. In almost every category, with the exception of passing down defense. Tennessee, in obvious passing situations, one of the worst in the country, 117th in that metric. Kentucky's actually 81st in adjusted passing down offense, slightly a lot better in passing downs in this case. So third and longs, they might have better success and help to keep that time of possession for Kentucky, because they want to keep this game into a low scoring, keep it in the phone booth, that sort of deal. Kentucky's rush offense, so throughout the year, 107th in the country, not very good, not like Kentucky standards. The offensive line is getting better, though, with the offensive line yard is at 52nd in the country. Over the last 5 weeks, I will say this, the Kentucky rush offense is actually at 49th. Which is a slight improvement. I did that only because they did get Chris Rodriguez Jr. Back for the Ole Miss game, and it was at week 5. So you can kind of tell the offense is getting a little bit better. But when you adjust Tennessee's rating from that time span, the Tennessee defense is actually 19th. So since Tennessee has a 19th ranking in rush defense over the 49th rush offense, it would still hold an advantage for Tennessee here. So yeah, in that same time period, it still wouldn't necessarily matter whether you adjust for opponent in week 5 or all season long. But this is the type of game where this is a rival game and you can kind of just throw things out of the window here. So the computer model has Tennessee favored and also winning by a score of 39-25. So it actually likes Tennessee to not just win the game, but also likes them to cover. At the time of recording, Tennessee is a 12.5 point favorite in the Vegas odds makers. Bill Connolly, who devised the SP Plus metrics, he has Tennessee favored by 8 with a 68% win probability. If this game was played in Lexington, Tennessee would actually be a 4-point favorite. So interesting how Bill Connolly has this game closer than the experts think. My model actually has this to be somewhat of a runaway victory for Tennessee. So Tennessee is a 12.5 point favorite in the eyes of Vegas, who knows pretty much what it is that they're doing because they're in the business of making money, over a team in Kentucky who is ranked in the top 25 and is coming off of a bye week. So, and you also had the fact that this is a rival game. So this is the kind of game where if you're not too careful, if you come in a little overconfident, things can get really, really crazy. And you also compound the fact that Tennessee also has a game the following week that could be, game of the century type implications, especially that you're going to have the first unveiling of the college football playoff rankings coming out exactly 1 week from today. Looking at my projections, I have Tennessee at number 1 based on what their metrics are and how many quality wins that they have provided, and also top 25 wins that they have had this year. So a lot of implications coming into next week. So if you think that the Alabama game was big a few weeks ago, multiply that by like 100 for next week against Georgia. So the question that you have is, are you guys going to be looking ahead to Georgia? And it's easy to do, especially against Kentucky. Kentucky hasn't really looked great offensively, but the game plan for Kentucky in this game, in my opinion, is going to be to keep the game really, really close, just to keep it within a phone booth, shorten the game, limit Tennessee's possessions, and not turn the ball over. And if they can do all of those things, this game can get a little uncomfortable for Tennessee in this one. So initially, I had Tennessee winning by like the score of like 45-21, something like that. And once I looked into who they got coming up next week, and the fact that Kentucky came off of a bye for those particular reasons only, I have Tennessee winning the game, but I'm not going to pick them to cover. I got them winning by the score of 30-21. I just think Kentucky's going to play with a sense of pride. They're not going to roll over against Tennessee, in my opinion. I think they're going to come out. They're going to bring the kitchen sink on them. And they're coming off a bye, so they're going to be really healthy. And I think they have, I think they're going to have a game plan for how they're going to defend Tennessee in this game here, especially with the air raid. So I got Tennessee winning by the score of 30-21, heading to Athens for a potential game of the century, part 2. And that is it for this game preview. Let me know what your thoughts are in the game in the comment section below. Give me your score prediction. Tell me why your respective team is going to win the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give the video a like. And if you love college football as much as I do, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell if you want to stay updated with the latest previews and the occasional highlights. Thank you for watching, and thank you for visiting the channel.